We're just one episode away from the season finale of Claws, but first we got to get to episode 9 entitled Ambrosia. So much has happened, so let's get to it.
In the Ferrari or Jaguars with the full name top down, screaming out money ain't a thing. Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the ring.
How Khaliel is exactly how you should dance to this song. Exactly. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the BHL Claws After Show. We got, the usual family, me and Khaliel. We got an extra special guest with us, Miss Carissa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we have a juicy episode for talk, so I'm glad we got another opinion in the house. She's already got good opinions. We were talking earlier. But first of all, thanks for joining us once again, guys. I'm excited to talk about episode 9. We got one more episode to go, but episode 9 was popping. Before we get into that, Khaliel, while you're dancing, would you like to let them know where they can find you on social media?
Yo, holla at me on Twitter and Instagram at Khaliel Abooboo.
Come on with those 1996 dance moves. I like it.
You got to top that. That was a hell of an intro. Right
She's
there.
the newbie, but she got to do something. Come on.
It's okay to feel uncomfortable.
Take my top off. Is it? I got my nails done. Extra special for you guys.
There we go.
Also, I just got engaged, so I had to get like these ring fingers fancy.
Somehow you topped his intro.
I'm getting my ring on Tuesday, and I'm like so excited.
That's how you top my
That's how you top it.
That's how you
get engaged.
I'm upgrading from baby mama to fiance.
Oh my God, she got Hey, money ain't a thing. But what can they find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere online at Carissa Blades.
Excellent. There we go. Short and simple. And once again, I'm DeAnjilo. Hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV and at DeAnjilo on Instagram. Money is a thing in this episode. It's been
money's everything
the entire season. But shout out to Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri. I'm always happy to get a Jay-Z song incorporated on the show. But man, what an episode we had. Before we get into it, I just got to shout out Polly, yo. Get you a friend like Polly to pay attention to details like that and Ambrosia salad, which I didn't know what that was until today.
You're that key word, baby.
She's like, something's off. You know what I mean? So you have a Polly, you have Virginia, and Virginia was like, oh yeah, she's cool. Like, get you a friend like Polly. She stood out. How'd you guys feel about her just paying attention to that details like that?
I mean, that's what she's here for.
Right.
She's here for that. Like she's that friend out the group.
She's a very neurotic character, and you guys were like talking about on the show last time, like every situation she's in, she has like a different freaking personality, and it was so crazy to see her when she's like that meticulous, because when we see her in the episode getting like hauled away, she's having a complete and utter breakdown, and I was like, I don't think she's gonna.
But as far as her character,
prison.
it still all fits, which is an amazing part and a due to the writers who created her. She is
multi-dimensional for sure.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's true. Her character dynamic, that's a good point. She takes on a lot of personalities with the whole identity theft thing, but it all kind of still fits under the umbrella of like Polly, but she changes a lot. So shout out to her as well as an actress to be able to deliver those things, because it's very believable. But she was put in a tough situation with figuring out those details, but also Quiet Anne was put in a really tough situation with her true love she finally found, right? And she's like the quiet person, so it's hard for her to get someone to connect with.
That monologue she did about these are the reasons I love this girl was so touching. I'm just like, oh my God, this is what happens when you give someone who's such a strong actress like that.
Judy Reyes, shout out to her.
You're just like, ugh. Yeah, I know, but it's crazy. It's like she was great on Scrubs, but you can see in this show when they give her a little bit of something, she's like, hey, watch me milk every freaking second of this. Like, I can milk every...
This is my opportunity. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like,
she did milk it.
Excuse me, let me bring out every little thing in this. And I was just like, oh, now I actually don't want them to break. Like, I didn't really care about the relationship, and then she did that monologue, and she's like, I was honest with her. She knows what I did in prison. She doesn't judge me.
I
was like, get you somebody like that.
That's a good point. I don't think I had, like, at first I was like, oh, why is she tripping over this girl? Until she gave that monologue, I was like, oh, all right, this is real.
That's love, bro.
If you guys were put in that situation where you had to pretty much, your family and your significant other that you actually love, this would be easy for you. Like, what decision do you think you would make? And specifically in this decision, she's engaged, so she has someone she really loves.
Well,
I mean, if you do too,
Yeah. It's like, I think if I was in like Quiet Anne's situation, I would tell the other person what was going on and just pray that they would squash the
You
investigation.
talking about? Oh, okay. She's
You know
tried
what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I would just like go on bended knee and be like, look, either I'm gonna take the fall for this, or you're gonna help me cover it up.
Real talk. I mean,
I don't know.
the thing that after is like, obviously she decided to be loyal to the family, which was great. But like,
all
she's
about
gonna
the
have
family.
so much animosity towards them, like forever.
yeah.
I know.
Because we're all made for relationships, so it's like what a situation to be in. It sucked, I think, a lot.
Tough shit.
What would you do,
Yeah.
Khaliel?
Tough shit.
Yeah, what would you do?
I'd probably be lost for a little bit, but I do like your solution as far as like, all right, well, if you're gonna take him down, I'm gonna be collateral damage. So I don't know if I would. I'm sure it would come to a point where you have to talk to your love interest to let them know, like, hey, you're getting closer on this. This affects me too. You shoot them, you're gonna shoot me. So
Yeah. There's a better, more subtle but direct way of handling it than as opposed to when she had to decide between the two. Yeah. But she's doing her job, and what they do is illegal, so it's kind of hard to tell a police officer to not do your
Right.
job.
that's true.
Yeah. But that situation was tough, and I felt it for her when she went in the room and like started screaming.
I thought it was funny, like when she opened that binder. Like, did you guys? I kind of thought when she opened that and you just saw the spider web, and then it's like Niecy Nash's face is just like highlighted. I was just like, that looks like a 6-year-old made that. Like, that doesn't look like very detailed detective work. She was just like, I'm gonna put a gold star next to her. She did it.
Fair. Yeah. I don't know what police binders look like, but
I don't either.
It was
I don't either. I
elementary
just don't.
looking in my head.
That looks like how I would make a police binder, so it just like didn't seem right to me. Is all I'm saying.
Fair. That's actually a good analysis. I think it's interesting. Something else. Well, obviously, a lot happened in the show, but how did you guys feel about the flashbacks they did? That was something new that they incorporated with the show to kind of show Desmond and Roller's relationship and a lot of
Yeah.
other relationships. How did you feel about the incorporation with that?
It was good. It was good to finally get some history on their relationship. I appreciate the back and forth because it gave you more gravity to the situation as we progressed on, oh, I'm about to kill her. As we progressed on Roller saying, oh, I'm about to kill her.
Yeah, the backstory is interesting because they have such a weird dynamic, and it's like he was cheating on her, but I think they were trying to do that to show that maybe at the end when she's telling him that she does love him and stuff, like maybe that's real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their relationship is that's too complicated
It is.
for
There's
me.
a lot going on.
There's like I'm just like, do I want them together? I don't even know. How does she know if she wants to like?
Yeah.
Did the
Yeah, that's
flashbacks
crazy.
make you have a softer heart towards Roller, or did you?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
What about you?
I would say no, except for that was so sweet with him fake killing the rat. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, in a weird
I know
way.
that was like a writer's device to do that to make you like him, but he also does let her call her brother and talk. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's complicated, like you said. I think it was just interesting to see the parallel between the doctor and Roller. Like their first date was in a strip club, like, but I feel like for him that was like that was a big deal. It shows a difference in styles, but it's
Yeah.
also interesting that she even entertained it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it says a lot about
That's
Desmond.
true. That is true.
But I think
Well, I also feel like since that was like their first date or whatever, and you saw in the flashback, she's totally, it seems just like not into him. Like
Right.
she starts entertaining it when they're drinking.
Yeah.
But he must have put in a lot of work to get from where he was to being there with her, because
Yeah.
at first she was like, nah, this isn't happening. Like, leave me alone,
And
basically.
it also made us as an audience like understand his hurt a little more, because it's like, oh, he really, really liked you, and he went through all of this to be with you, and now you tried to kill him.
yeah, but that ignores the fact that he lied and never gave her money.
Yeah.
But
But it's also
we
he
saw
tried.
that explained. Yeah.
He tried, and like he really honestly did talk to him about it.
And I feel like that could have been easily fixed if he just explained that to her. Communication in relationships is imperative, guys.
Key.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's key.
To be like,
Major key.
I really put my foot down with Clay, a.k.a. Uncle D.
Dad.
Yeah,
Uncle
I don't
D's.
call him that. But if he just said that to her, I feel like she wouldn't have tried to kill him. You know what I mean? Like, they could have worked at this. This whole show wouldn't have happened if they just communicated. Right?
Yeah.
No?
Something that I thought was weird with Roller, like another little like Easter egg that I thought they kept doing these flashbacks with him and his outfits. I'm like, why is he wearing current Versace? Why is he wearing a dope shirt? Like, I need to know when that, like, they didn't.
How long ago?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
long ago? Like, you know how it always
That's a
says
good
it's
point.
like 3 years ago, 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how long have they been laundering money?
That's why they did it. Well,
Yeah.
I thought about that too, and I was like, okay, all she made was $7,000.
Yeah.
So maybe you haven't been doing it that long.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I've never sold drugs, but I would imagine
Oh.
it's a lot of money fast.
Yeah,
don't
I mean
know.
they're distributing between several different businesses too, so she's definitely only seeing but so much compared to how much they're probably making.
$7,000 to be exact.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But so we saw a
You
new
can work a
character.
regular day job and get $7,000.
So don't do drugs, guys. Don't sell drugs.
Basically.
there you go.
Don't have a fake clinic to sell
Money
drugs.
laundering.
Money laundering.
Like if I'm selling drugs, I want $7,000 in a week. Like
Yeah, it does need to be a lot more than I can make in a minimum wage job. So,
exactly.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So we saw a new character. We saw Ted, who's apparently the boss of Clay and Bryce and the whole ordeal. He was a character, to say the least. I'm kind of disappointed.
Namaste. I was just like, what?
I'm disappointed that was the first time we saw him because I feel like that he could have added a
Would've been
whole
great.
different
He would've been
dynamic
great.
to the episode.
Yeah.
And he's gone quick. He's dead. Like, how did you guys feel about the fact that we've never seen Clay scared of anyone? He was legitimately scared of him. But how
Yeah.
did you feel about that interaction in the strip club?
That whole scene was so friggin' weird.
I thought it was great.
Like, it was interesting
I
for
didn't-
sure, but I even was like, wait, this is the first time we're meeting Ted, right? Because I was so like,
Yeah.
I binged the entire show and I'm like, did I just block out this character? But it's like he was there and then he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
It was
What I
weird.
was thinking, I was like, is this the first time we've realized that this is a trans strip club? I didn't know that.
I don't
I
think I knew
also-
that either. That's not shocking though. He has his boy toy.
But the thing is, I thought the boy toy was just like a one-off character.
Like
Is
a
that what you
side
thought?
off,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I didn't.
I don't know. I didn't think about it, but like
Yeah.
it's believable since he was there and maybe that's how they met.
I'm not saying it's not believable. I'm just saying like that just feels like a big thing that they
left
kind
out.
of like
That-
brushed over.
Everything that happened in that scene was like, oh, there's this big thing. Oh, Uncle Daddy's not the top dog. Oh, there's this guy.
Yeah.
He's spiritual. There's blood on this stick. He's obviously hurt people with it, with the sharing stick. Everything that was going on in
Yeah.
that whole scene, I was like, the dial was just like turned all the way up.
All right.
So y'all feel like it's almost too much.
Yeah,
They
and
should
there was-
simplify
Too
it.
much, but I just wish that we could have. I personally wish it would have been more, like because I just feel like we learned so much. It was like, well, let's investigate this. Wait a second, you
Yeah.
have a trans strip club? That's new, new to me. This other character, this Ted guy, like
Top
his,
dog.
his sharing stick. Like, what else does he like to do? Like, I want to see him do
Who
some
is
fucking
he?
yoga.
Yeah,
Like,
really though. And
I
for
al-
him to go out, go ahead.
I just feel like they might bring his character back.
He's in the freezer now though.
No, I know he's dead.
Well,
Roller came
Roller's
back from the dead. Hold on.
He was burnt alive.
True.
Yeah. Good point.
Roller ended up in a shed with a sculpture made out of pubes. Like anything can happen on
Yes,
the show.
that's so true.
But I just mean since it's like they're doing these flashbacks, I feel like we're gonna find out some more stuff about Ted and Uncle Daddy and what really happened with Roller and Bryce's dad. And I think that Ted character might come back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just really weird. They should have, if he literally is in this one episode and dies, then they should have done a special guest star that's like a super famous person to play that
true.
guy, so that it would be more believable that
Yeah.
he's like the main kingpin who's
true.
dead and it's a huge
That's a very
deal.
good point.
You want to
Yeah.
see
Like-
Idris come out or somebody?
What?
You want to see Idris come out?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, yes. I'd like to see him in everything for all time. I'm like, I don't know if he would do a little guesting on this show for like something so quick, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, so Ted's
That's
Ted
it.
is-
dead,
Ted is
baby.
dead.
And then to
He's
go out,
dead.
the way he went out too, just like getting pushed with his back to them. I don't know, like it just, I don't know. Even his you know, he's supposed to be crazy, and when he like, you know, acted out on Bryce, it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, okay, I mean, yeah, he beat him with a bat, but like, I mean, with the stick, but I don't think
Baton,
that,
if you
yeah,
will.
okay,
The
whatever.
sharing
the
stick.
sharing stick.
Sharing stick.
But like, I don't know. I feel like if he was gonna be crazy, he should have did something more crazier than that.
Yeah, to like,
To
I
exhibit
don't
that
feel
point.
like he pushed him to the point of fighting back to kill him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but
Like, if that's the actual kingpin and you're Bryce and Bryce is pretending he's El Chapo now, or who said that about him? They were like, he
Oh,
thinks
yeah,
he's El Chapo.
Roller said that.
But I was just like, yeah, he's going there. He's rolling down that road right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like he would know his place enough to not fight back unless he was being. It just didn't look like he was taking that hard of a beating.
Yeah, I don't know. That was interesting, but I mean, obviously that's going to play a major role in what's going on in the next episode. But
And now Bryce has 2 bodies on him.
2, 3,
Oh, 3. Sorry. 3.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a top dog. He's a
3 bodies on him.
mafiasco, as Jen said. Speaking of Jen has, she has her side hoe
Yeah.
to the side, who's now been promoted to, I don't know, make out buddy. How do you guys feel about that whole, just him in general, like that dynamic and the fact that they made
You're
out?
obviously a terrible wife if your plan when you're mad at your husband is to go talk to your single guy,
agree.
your hot single friend.
I
Like,
agree.
that's not cool. Why would
agree.
she even go? And then she's like, oops, we kissed. I'm like, well,
Sometimes
that's
you-
what happens.
Sometimes you need a comfort kiss, you know? You
Okay.
need that. It's like a comfort hug when you're distressed. You need that comfort kiss.
I mean, hey, but my thing is it all Jen's fault? Like, really? Like, you guys, there's no onus on Bryce for not wanting to clean up his act.
For not being around, being emotionally unavailable.
Yes.
For
That's
not
important.
tending to his wife's needs, and now she's forced to step out and find love elsewhere. Heard it all before, sir. Heard it all before.
Well, that, but also I just feel like her being like, you're using it again. Like, her character made a lot more sense when she didn't want to move into that house. Like,
She did lose me with
she
that.
caved with one school district. If you're a good parent, there are plenty of even like she's in a relationship. There are plenty of single mothers who raise great kids in shitty school districts. Like, she's just like,
Yep.
there's free parking on my block. Cool. Well, we can live in this house now, and you can go work for Uncle. Like, I don't know, that whole. I needed her like one more episode or something for her to get there to
For it to not be
liking
so
nice
quick.
things
Yeah.
or something a little deeper just than like, we're in some great school district now. Okay, we live in the big house. Like, that it just doesn't make sense with her character at all.
Interesting. I mean, so you're saying if she, like you, someone who, like, I just grew up with my mom, and like you're financially struggling, someone's tangling in front of you, a really nice house, really big house, and a lot of money.
Prior to this, though, I feel like they're doing all right.
I mean,
It
he
seems like
wasn't-
insinuated
I
that
don't-
all of them
I
are.
don't think he was the greatest
Provider,
like
bacon
what was
bringer.
it? Not like not life coach, but what does he call himself?
Yeah,
Like
whatever. Yeah.
No,
That.
he uses his own stupid dialogue to call himself a life coach. I
Right.
forget what he said it was. But I mean, I thought he was making some money. I didn't think they were
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
destitute, basically. I
Yeah,
thought they
that's
were
insane.
doing okay.
Yeah. So, okay, what I'm hearing is this is all Jen's fault. This has nothing to do with Bryce. I just
Yes.
wanted, before we move on, I want to make
Yes.
sure that that's what you
Yes.
do.
I don't
you guys
think
feel.
it's all her.
Because
but
that's incredible if that's how y'all
I'd
feel.
at least say 98%. How about that?
98%?
How about
This
that?
man
I
is
said it.
killing. He is taking drugs, by the way. She has
Yeah.
a feeling
Oh, that
that
is
he's
true.
doing it.
That is true.
And,
I
and
forgot.
he's not communicating.
killing
He's not
people.
communicating, which
All
he
right.
said is important.
All right, so ladies, if your
93%
man starts killing people, then it's okay to cheat.
She hasn't
But
cheated
then
yet.
it might
And
not
starts
be okay
using
to
again.
cheat because he might kill you.
Oh my goodness.
Think about that.
Well, look, you guys have different relationship terms than I do. That's cool. Whatever works
No,
for you guys.
it's not 100% her fault, but I'm just
No, it's
saying
not.
she's going down. She has also crossed the line of things that are okay with her, and she broke too easily for me to
Agreed.
just be.
For
For
you to be
you to
so
feel-
defending
Yeah,
her.
and also
Agreed.
you're like,
Care.
oh, he used this one time. Well, if he's an addict, and sure,
Exactly.
she's suspicious,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, oh, you're gonna go cheat on him the second you're like, she hasn't even
Because-
sat down and talked to him and been
Exactly.
like, don't do this. Let's talk. Like
she has repeatedly.
well, she
I'm
just
on Jen's
no that
side.
little
Terrible.
quick little phone call with him
Over and
on the
over,
phone.
she's like,
No.
let's
No.
over and over. She's been like, let's get back on the same page. Let's start over. Let's do
Yeah,
our
that's cute.
sobriety. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
let's
that's cute.
Oh, she called him for dinner. Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want to do dinner. You know what I mean? Like, this is a build up. It's not like one thing. That's just how I feel. Look, you guys can again. Your relationship terms were different than mine.
You condone infidelity. I'm not
I'm
judging
not.
you.
I'm not on her side, but I'm just
It's,
saying it's not 98% her.
You know, I'm mad pro-choice, so you can do whatever you want to do.
Hey, you
I
know
know
what?
we won't be dating anytime soon.
Hey, that's good to
So-
know. Good to know.
So you do your thing. Whoever has to date him,
You know what, Jen? I got your back. All right.
you gotta deal with.
Y'all can have the drug addicts.
I do
and I'll
feel
have-
like I understand more now. Like Kevin Rankin being cast as Bryce. Like
Okay.
it was so in the beginning when I saw him, I was like, he's being cast as a life coach. Like he played the super angry best friend in a wheelchair on Friday Night Lights, who was just like a dick. Like he always plays a dick. You know what I mean? He's always mean to other people, pushing people's buttons, playing. And so when he was getting cast as this like life, I was like,
You're like, what?
I was like, why did they think of him for this? Like that's
Now we see.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, and now he's spiraling. Oh, okay. Now he is.
He's in his comfort
he's
zone.
doing uppers again. Oh, okay. And now now that I see his trajectory, I'm like, oh, okay, he is perfectly cast for this. But I just
so
thought it was
funny.
so weird at first. I was like, he doesn't seem very enlightened.
That's so funny. That's good, actually. I believe, I mean, we'll move on, but I believe his character now more than I did maybe at first when he was like the nerdy, kind of shy guy. But shout out to him and the writers for the character development. He's come along really well. Here's another thing I wanted to talk about. Desmond's last phone call with Dean.
So
In the car.
sweet. So sweet.
Sweet.
So sweet.
I mean, yeah, how do you guys feel about it? The fact that Dean wants to marry Virginia, for one.
I wrote down
obviously.
like a funny thing he said about.
I know you think she's a dirt skank color.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was so funny.
No, but he also
love sex.
said she's on the autistic spectrum with how weird she is about food. Like that's something he relates to her about. I was like,
She's a little
isn't that
special in this
cute?
area. Yeah, it's cute.
Hey.
He's really smart. I mean, he's
Everybody,
super
we all
intelligent.
deserve love. So he found it. I'm happy for him.
You gotta make it work, man.
Like I
Every
said,
relationship gotta get
I knew
to
he was
some-
gonna bust some cheeks too, so I knew that was coming.
He busted
and
them.
apparently he's putting it down. So
Consistent.
I couldn't be more proud of my man.
You know?
also he really likes sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he should.
As he should.
As he
Good
should.
guy. Good guy.
Water's always warm, boys.
That's such a good. He's just such a good character and such a good like tether to reality for her.
Yeah.
Like you do genuinely root for her, knowing his whole backstory and everything that they've been through together. I'm just like, yeah, going through the foster care system with somebody and her having to take care of somebody who isn't as able as she is. I mean, like she's just been through a lot. And you could see why she would never have money if she is financially taking care of somebody who can't take care of themselves since such a young age. Just like thinking about how hard that would be is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That whole last phone call was so sweet, and it was such a funny juxtaposition from the scene we saw before where she's just like, excuse me, I'm being held hostage. And the guy's just like, I don't care.
Yeah, that
and
was
you're
crazy.
like,
That was crazy. That's
I thought that was so funny.
It's
You're like,
super
oh,
random.
everybody knows them. They're
known. Yeah, they have
they're
a
just
past.
like
Which
they're
is
known.
it's
They have the
interesting.
cops in the pocket.
It's interesting that to that point that Quiet End's love interest, what is her name? Arlene. Yeah.
Detective
That
Arlene.
she's not in the loop on that, and like it like her partner
she's a
who works for
stand-up
Claire.
cop.
Yeah, you know how dare
Smart.
her. Her like it's interesting that she didn't get the memo, or maybe she just doesn't care. I want to know what's going on for the whole police department except her
to be in to be in with it. Something else I thought that was funny about, like, because I think the clothes in this and everything add so much, like, to the ambiance. I think it's funny because they always try and make the lesbians wear more clothes. Like, did you see when Arlene was, like, in bed, she's wearing, like, what I would consider just, like, old white grandparent t-shirt. I was just like, aren't they supposed to be in Florida? I was just like, why is she wearing that to bed?
That's actually
but
really
I'm just
true.
like, they're both a little butch. And I'm just like, people who... They
Yeah.
can still wear something sexy to bed, though. Like, it can still be getting romantic up in there.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Like, she's killing it right now.
Exactly.
Like,
It's
yeah.
a woman perspective.
Yeah, for real. Them
Can't compete
details,
with that.
man.
Can't compete with that.
I'm just like, look, they made out in the bed. You know, it happened. She was
Right.
going to get some toys. She didn't see
Right.
it.
We've all been there. But, looks like a good morning to me.
I think in any other show I would like Arlene's character. Right now I don't, because she's like complicated everything, and I don't want her to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But any other character, of course, you like the stand-up cop.
Makes it spicy.
It does.
Very spicy.
Soap opera-esque. And finally, Roller. We got to talk about Roller. He is having relapses and thinking about, he
He's
was
a loser.
consistently raped. I think I forgot that he was burnt alive unsuccessfully. That sucks.
I did forget
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
thinking about that. I'm
I
like, that was
Why does he
traumatizing
have
me.
0 scars from being caught on fire, people? I'm like, you just look okay?
Yeah,
You're like in a body bag. What?
Well, he got cleaned up when we first saw him with the lady that raped him. He was
That
a little beat up.
weirdo.
Yeah, that girl. He was beat up by
Gotta be
her.
rough.
I mean, cleaned up. Excuse me, by her.
Can't
No?
escape a rape, dog.
No,
Can't. Can never escape.
can't
it.
escape it. We discussed that agnostically. too,
Well,
so.
like when he's like tying her up and he has that little flashback and he starts barking at her and he's like, ruff,
That
ruff,
really
ruff.
made me laugh.
Yeah, I was just like, we like all looked at each other like, what?
What?
Like, what is happening here? Because they didn't show any like, did they?
No,
when
no
that rape stuff was
tendencies.
happening, there was no like
No.
Oh, that was
dog stuff. So I was just
Yeah.
like,
That was
what
a
was
call
that
to his
about? That was
past right
weird.
there.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah. I
that
was just
was.
like, I don't
I think
like
there
that.
were. I think there were better ways to exhibit that.
No, I felt it was real though.
You felt
I was
it?
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's going through it.
Yep.
He is
He
really I feel like for playing somebody who is like low rent, low class, like
Low rent.
yeah, like no, seriously, that
Section 8.
I feel like he's just good. Like his crazy is great. Like I just Dean Norris playing like Uncle Daddy, just like this whole I don't know if it's because of other roles he's played or what, but it's just like he doesn't seem real to me.
Really?
And I think that's my biggest complaint about this show is it's like Superman is only as super as Lex Luthor is bad.
Right.
And it's like I just don't believe him. Like I definitely believe the guy who plays Roller is that character is like white trash. Like Dean Norris, I don't know what it is, but it's like that nail that he wear and
Yeah.
it's like it's supposed to give him I'm
Breaking
like
Bad ruined it
that
for you.
wears him.
Breaking Bad ruined it for you. That's what it was. You just saw him, Agent Slater. Now he's a drug dealer. You're like,
You
come
can't
on.
get with it.
And it's
Come
not
on.
like there are people who can play like a detective and play a cop and then play another character. I just don't believe him in this. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's. I mean, it's.
He seems like a rich person pretending he's poor instead
But
of.
but today showed us where it like knocked him down.
He's
a few
on the totem
notches.
pole, but so where? Yeah.
So I mean, did that change your view a little bit?
Yeah.
No.
I should know.
No.
Moving on.
Well, she wasn't feeling Ted anyway, so you know
Yeah.
she wasn't feeling that whole scene.
I know I liked that scene a lot, but it took me out.
Yeah, there's some
whole-
gaps, a little bit. That
Well, the whole rest of they were doing really cool stuff, I think, with like intercutting people's relationships with the past and then where they're at now and then the past and then back. And then all of a sudden that scene was in it. And I get why it was there. Obviously, it's going to pushes the whole plot forward.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now that the Russians are dead, is anyone going to retaliate against Uncle Daddy? If
Right.
Ted is, because Ted is the one who was like, can't do anything to the Russians, can't do anything to the Russians. But
well, that's interesting. I think
there's
that
like a power vortex now
Right.
because Ted is dead and we don't know who's Ted's connections
who's
are.
the top dog. Yeah, I think. Well, that's interesting. I mean, they only killed 2 Russians, and we haven't seen the woman yet. She seems like she's the top dog. So I think that just started a war.
Women are the
Yeah.
future, bro.
I mean, they're present, but I think that's kind of that started that turmoil. But it brings me to my next question of who shot at Roller. Do you guys have that, and then also predictions for our season finale of episode 10?
This whole episode shot all my predictions out the fucking. I don't have any predictions. I don't know what's gonna happen. It keeps twisting and turning in ways that I can't foresee. So
But who shot at Roller? We have to. Let's get a guess on
Russian.
it.
It was the Russian dude. We knew that.
I think it's the Russian dude. What Russian dude? One of the ones that got killed.
One of the ones that he
Not
shot.
the twins.
They're dead.
I think the twins are dead
Me
too.
too.
I don't.
Or maybe somebody else was in the car.
I don't know who I thought that was. I think
I
that.
thought it was one of the twins, but I guess not.
I don't know, but I did notice when he's running, when Roller starts chasing after her after he shoots both of the Russians, he does like a sharp turn and grabs onto the car and goes like this with his hands. I'm like, why are you leaving your fingerprints all over these
Them
dead people's
details you be
cars?
seeing,
I'm just
man.
like,
Again,
She
that's why
killed me with
she's
the
here.
details. Look,
That's why
no,
she's
and I'm
here.
just like, excuse me, you are a
Sir.
very terrible
Sir,
murderer,
you're being
sir.
messy right
All
now.
those people who were complaining in the comments our first week, I want to hear some compliments tonight.
Yeah,
'cause
please
this one
compliment
is killing
Carissa.
it.
Hit her up on Twitter and Instagram. What was it? At Carissa Blades everywhere. So cool. There you go.
But so here's the thing. I think there's going to be I think we saw some foreshadowing happening. I think like Niecy Nash is going to find out something about Roller's dad, something about Uncle Daddy, because it sounds like that whole,
It's a little messy.
yeah, that their
It's a little
past is
messy.
very messy. And, he just took me under his wing. I'm like, he killed your dad.
Probably. Yeah. And then when Bryce said to Uncle Clay that it was like a eye for you, like eye for eye. You
Eye-
killed
eye
my.
for an
He like
eye.
paused a little bit and was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good point." There's
Yeah,
a
I was
little
like, eye
foreshadow
for
there.
an eye. I
Whoa,
don't
that's
know.
juicy. That's a good. Whoa, girl, that's a good one right there. I like that. I might steal that
We're
one.
gonna end tonight. We're gonna
But-
end it on that.
I want to know who was shooting at him too. I'm trying to think. Like,
I know. I feel like it's gonna be a good one too. Like someone we should probably know. I don't think it's gonna be random. I think it's someone we.
but I was
missed.
trying to go through. Yeah, I'm trying to go through. I'm like, who would know where
the
they
cop.
were?
I think if
Ooh, it could be the
could be-
detective.
she's
it
in
could
jail.
be.
Well, no,
The
she got
dirty-
drugged.
No, the
Oh, it could be him. That's on the board.
I said it right here.
Did Paulie figure it out like that quick enough to get someone
No.
there?
Yeah, but
There's
then
no
like,
way,
but like,
right?
how I thought of that, but I'm like, how would Paulie
It
like
wouldn't-
GPS her to
Right.
get like?
Right.
How,
It's in the
how'd she
nail.
end up at
It's a
that
tracker.
random abandoned?
that quick?
They,
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be too
they
quick.
keep trackers in the nails. That's how they keep.
Ooh, I like
No,
that.
I'm joking.
That was a detail that I forgot. It was that her fingernail fell off when they were on the dock.
Mm.
And the second he said that, I was like, oh yeah, the fingernail. Because they never show that in a flashback or anything
Right.
again, and they did make a huge deal of it when it happened.
Right.
But then when she the spider web in the binder, I was like, oh
How
yeah.
do you know it's her fingernail? I mean, she does have creative designs on her fingernail, but fingernails, they don't carry DNA, do they?
Yeah,
They do.
they do. But
Okay.
but like
do?
no, but you're right. But
Then how would they
But
know?
she would have
still,
had
how
to
would they
match
know
it to
hers?
her.
Yeah, exactly.
But she had a reason to try to, because she suspected
No, but
that
you
was
don't
Desmond.
have. They don't have your DNA in the system unless you already have a prior
Yeah.
offense.
Okay.
So they would have to go like she would have to go in there and get
Right.
swabbed for them to match the
something.
DNA
Okay.
to her or something.
Oh, okay. You learn something every day. There you go. So you gave me, you don't know who shot at Roller, and your prediction is that, I like your prediction, the foreshadow that Clay killed Roller and Bryce's father.
I definitely think he
That's good.
killed their father, or something very bad happened in the past that they're going to be able to hold over him.
Right. Oh, before we move on, all right, so before we close out, excuse me, Polly and Dr. Ken relationship. There's a lot going on. And what's the keys for success here? He's super clingy. She's scared of
It's dead.
commitment.
It's dead in the water.
But the
bro.
sex is good.
It's not. It's not happening.
Like he said, he's super thirsty.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. Maybe that's charming to her in a way.
It's weird. I think those two might be made for each
Uh,
other.
crazy-
I mean,
crazy and crazy,
She's
you know?
super crazy.
Stranger things have happened.
Agreed.
They definitely have. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. All right, cool.
I don't think either of those two weirdos should be with somebody else. It's probably better that they're with each other.
That's a bar.
And I'm just like, you know, if Virginia and Dean are gonna end up together,
Agreed.
can't
She better
everybody
say
just
yes
be
to my
pairing
man.
off?
She
I
better
know
say
she was
yes
already
my
trying to
man.
break it with him after he hit. So I don't know.
It's
you gonna
too.
do?
I'm a tweeter.
Like it.
I ain't gonna at Carucci.
Who do you think you are? That you too good for? No.
No, but I do think it's weird in the reality of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think she should say yes. In real life, I'm like, that would be a totally irresponsible
Yeah.
thing to do as an adult.
Yeah.
This person has no idea what the ramifications of marriage and a child and all of this stuff is.
Yeah.
You definitely shouldn't be marrying them after you had sex because he really likes it a bunch of times. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in the life of the show, I do think I'm like, that could actually turn into being a really cool
Yeah.
relationship.
Exactly.
It's cool that they incorporated in the show someone with a mental disability having a relationship, like a regular relationship. I thought that was
Yeah.
like a cool idea that they
We
did.
all need love, bro.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody
Needs love. Well, look, I guess that recaps everything for episode 9. Thank you first of
course.
all for joining us.
Thanks for having
added
me.
great analysis. All right. Before we head out of here, guys, would you like to tell them where they can find you on social media?
Khaliel Abooboo on Twitter and Instagram at Khaliel Abooboo.
Nice.
At Carissa Blades. So aggressive.
Gotta make sure they're paying attention.
Everything is just at Carissa Blades. You can come and find me. Chat it up with me. You know what I didn't do,
What?
which I normally am doing, is all my memes and stuff on the day of the show to like hype. I like to find the gifs from the show and stuff and put them on. I need to.
Well, you'll be here next
I'll do that
week.
next week.
Yes.
I'll do that
Exactly.
next
With
week.
our
Exactly.
special
People
guests that we'll
send
have
me
next
those
week.
stuff. I know.
Yes, look, guys, obviously, so many reasons to come to episode 10. One is that we'll have someone in the show here, more than likely. I'm really excited about that for you guys. Carissa's here. I mean, she's great. Like, why wouldn't you enjoy her? And Khaliel's a consistent, like, he's like that guy that always shows up. You don't appreciate him until he's gone.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
That sounded better in my head. I'm sorry. Khaliel is the man. That's what I was trying to say, guys. Anyway, hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV and at DeAnjilo on Instagram. I've enjoyed you guys' company. Sounds like I'm closing out because I am. This is my last episode. They're going to hold it down for you guys next week with our special celebrity guest. But once again, thanks for joining us. Leave us reviews, leave us comments, blah, 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 blah. See you guys next week. Deuces.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Christie, Tiana Hobson, and the entire DHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.